Hi, welcome back to the classroom. This is Teacher Rebecca. So, we are here with part 3 of our books about the Jewish high holidays. So, our first book was about Rosh Hashanah, about the secret shofar of Barcelona. Then, our second book was about Yom Kippur and the legendary mythical creature in Jewish folklore called the Ziz. And his job was to find the most difficult word. And the most difficult word was, I'm sorry. So that's a time of reflection in Yom Kippur, where we say sorry to others as well as to God. So we have part 3 as we started last Saturday, those that are Jewish, and then those that are Christian that celebrate these holidays as well. So the Festival of Sukkot started last Saturday and it will end tonight. So it went for a whole week. So it's the Festival of Sukkot, or the Feast of Tabernacles. So we have a great book. So Sukkot is a time for families and communities to join together and really be thankful and reflective and about everything that they've been through, and as they are celebrating and starting this new Jewish New Year. Okay, so our book today is Shanghai Sukkah by Heidi Smith Hyde and illustrations by Jing Song. So it's a great multicultural book, and it's a great book that gives you historical, not only the information about the holiday of Sukkot, but it gives you historical information about the Jews and when they were sent or they migrated to China. Okay. So when Marcus moves his family from Berlin to Shanghai, he doubts this unfamiliar city will ever become home. But with help from his new friend Liang, Marcus sets out to build a sukkah in time for the harvest festival Sukkot. All right, so there they are, the townspeople. So, Shanghai Sukkah. And this is also brought by Carbon Publishing as well, this book. On his 10th birthday, Marcus found himself on an ocean liner headed for Shanghai. I don't want to go to China, he whispered to his parents. I want to stay in Berlin. But Berlin wasn't safe for Jews anymore. We need to go where we are welcome, Marcus, Mama said. I know it won't be easy, but as long as we're together, we'll manage somehow. And there are other Jews in Shanghai. So here they are on the ocean liner. Shanghai was nothing like Berlin. In Berlin, the pavement did not melt during the hot summer months, nor did the streets flood. In Berlin, 7 families did not share one room in an old apartment building. But Mama said to make the best of it. So they did. Every night, she put flowers on the table. On Shabbat, they lit candles and recited the blessings. At the yeshiva in downtown Shanghai, Marcus met other Jewish boys his age. One weekend, Marcus and his friends were playing marbles in one of their neighborhood's narrow alleyways. Marcus's marble rolled too far. He chased after it, but someone else reached it first. A Chinese boy held the marble out to Marcus. Thank you, said Marcus. He pointed to himself. I'm Marcus. The boy smiled shyly. Liang. So there's Marcus and Liang. Marcus waved towards his friends. Want to play with us? Liang's smile grew, and he nodded. Although they spoke different languages, Marcus and Liang soon learned to communicate as only friends do. So sometimes we might not speak the same language as someone or have the same religion or upbringing or anything like that. But there's different things that can bring us together. So in Marcus's and Liang's case, it was playing, right? So when we get together with other people or go to a place that has food of different cultures, that's how we can form relationships. So Marcus and Liang formed a relationship or friendship through play. Yet Marcus missed his family and friends back home. As the harvest holiday of Sukkot drew near, he felt this loss even more. He thought of the beautiful sukkah his family always made with fresh fruits and vegetables woven into the branches. Where will we build our sukkah this year? He asked his parents. The apartment building has no yard or garden. Can we use the roof? Nobody uses the roof, Marcus said. He was determined to perform the mitzvah of eating all his meals in the sukkah. My friends can help me build it. We'll build it out of bamboo. So there's their sukkah they had when they lived in Berlin. So he's getting ideas and talking to his family about building the Sukkot in Shanghai. 2 days before Sukkot, Marcus and Liang and the boys from yeshiva gathered bamboo for the sukkah. So a different type of material to build the sukkah than they were used to. Using a saw Liang had borrowed from his father, they cut the stalks and loaded them into a rickshaw. They collected shrubs and greenery for the schach, for the Then they collected the shrubs and greenery for the schach, the roof for the sukkah. As they worked, Marcus told Liang about Sukkot. We have a harvest holiday too, said Liang. It's called the Moon Festival. So you may know about the Moon Festival. They celebrate it in the fall. You have moon cakes. You still tell stories about the rabbit and the moon. So that's another fall holiday in Chinese and Asian cultures. So we have a harvest festival too, said Liang. It's called the Moon Festival. There are games and moon-shaped cookies, right, or moon cakes, and a lantern parade. We make red lanterns with special riddles attached. What kind of riddles? Asked Marcus. Liang smiled secretively. You will find out soon. The Moon Festival begins tomorrow. So interesting, right? The parallel of the Moon Festival and the Sukkot Festival. So the Asian Chinese festival and the Jewish festival, they're both fall festivals and going on at the same time. So the next day, Marcus and his friends built their rooftop sukkah. Together, they measured and cut and fastened. All the while, they sang songs from their old home to pass the time. So there they are, Marcus and Liang, and the friends from the Jewish community. It was a simple little sukkah with its tender and slender bamboo poles and sparse roof. Here in Shanghai, where supplies were scarce, fruits and vegetables were for eating, not for decorating. My sukkah is so plain. I wish it were a little nicer, Marcus told Liang. I know how to make you feel better, said Liang. Come to the moon festival tonight with my family and me, and we can march in the parade together. All right, so they're going to the moon festival and the parade. When darkness fell, Marcus followed Liang's family deep into the city, where people of all ages were gathering. The streets of Shanghai exploded with wonder. Bright lights filled the night sky. Look, a dragon, exclaimed Marcus, pointing a finger, pointing to a paper creature that stretched from one side of the street to another. Dragons bring good luck, explained Liang. Then Marcus noticed what looked like a bunch of bright stars twinkling in the distance. The parade of lanterns had begun. All right, so there's the dragon at the parade. Liang led Marcus to a table and covered. Marcus led Liang led Marcus to a table covered with shiny red paper lanterns. Each lantern had a slip of paper attached to it. The papers have riddles on them, Liang told Marcus, picking up a lantern. Let's see what this one says. He squinted at the words on the paper, then translated for Marcus. What adds light and warmth, even though you can't see it? So that's the riddle. What adds light and warmth, even though you can't see it? Let's see if you can figure out the riddle. Marcus thought and thought, but no answers came. What could possibly add light and yet not be seen? Come on, said Liang. Let's join the parade. The two friends raced down the street into the sea of lights. All right, so we're at the table of lanterns, getting the riddle, and then they're following the lanterns in the parade. At yeshiva the next morning, Marcus couldn't stop thinking about the riddle of the lantern. Rabbi, what adds light and warmth even though you can't see it? He asked Rabbi Kravitz. Stroking his beard thoughtfully, Rabbi Kravitz said, Rabbi, what adds light and warmth even though you can't see it? He asked Rabbi Kravitz. Stroking his beard thoughtfully, Rabbi Kravitz said, Your question is a puzzling one, Marcus. How did it come to you? It came from a lantern that my friend gave me, Marcus replied. Rabbi Kravitz smiled mysteriously. Perhaps the lantern will light the way to the answer. There they are in the ship, and there is Rabbi Kravitz. At sundown, Mama said, It's time to recite the blessings, Marcus. Shall we go upstairs to the roof? Papa and I would like to see the sukkah you and your friends worked so hard to build. All right, Mama, but it's not as nice as our sukkah in Berlin, Marcus warned her. So they're getting the candles ready for Shabbat and the challah. So Fridays are a special day in Jewish culture, is Shabbat. Friday evenings are Shabbat. But up on the roof, Marcus's breath caught in his throat. There, glittering in the darkness, stood the little bamboo sukkah, covered in red paper lanterns of all shapes and sizes. Happy Sukkot, cried Liang, with a smile as bright as the full moon. Oh, so his friend decorated his spot for him. Marcus gazed at the beautifully decorated sukkah. It was the best sukkah ever, but not just because of the lanterns. What made it special, thought Marcus, was his friend who decorated it. Marcus thought again about the riddle of the lantern. What adds light and warmth even though we can't see it? Or you can't see it? The answer, Marcus decided, was friendship. So there they are. Under the Sukkot, getting the riddles out of the lanterns. There's Marcus and Lee. All right, so in the back of this book is some really interesting history. In the 1930s, before World War II began, many European Jews felt that to ensure their safety, they needed to leave their homes, but they had nowhere to go. Most nations would not accept large numbers of immigrating Jews, but one country's doors opened wide. Between 1938 and 1941, thousands of Jewish refugees escaped by steamship to China. A Japanese diplomat, Chiguin Sugihara, issued thousands of visas to Jews at the risk of his own career. Those visas permitted Jewish refugees to travel first to Japan, then to Shanghai. The Jews settled in Hongqiu, the poorest section of Shanghai, which came to be called the Shanghai Ghetto. Several families might share a tiny, single rented room without lighting or indoor plumbing. The refugees endured disease and too little food. So the Hongqiu district in Shanghai became home to thousands of European Jews during World War II, and Jewish refugees in Shanghai lived in crowded buildings like this one. So these are true historical pictures of the time. So I did not know this. I was very interested to learn this. Despite the difficult conditions, Jewish culture flourished. Along the narrow, winding streets, it wasn't unusual to find Yiddish theater, coffee houses, synagogues, and schools. Newspapers and libraries were established, and Jewish holidays and kashrut were observed. There was even a yeshiva known as the Mirror Yeshiva. Thanks to the efforts of the American Jewish Joint Distribution Community, soup kitchens and makeshift hospitals were also founded to assist Jewish refugees who arrived on China's shores. During a time when most countries looked the other way, China offered a haven, saving the lives of thousands of Jews from Lithuania, Poland, Austria, and Russia, and Germany. Jewish refugees lived alongside Chinese residents of Shanghai. Many Jews lived in these buildings on the Word Street in Shanghai, which is shown in this 1939 photograph, and Jewish residents in Shanghai, like these Hasidic Jewish men standing under a Chinese street sign, brought their traditions with them to China. So again, these are interesting historical photos. So all those families lived in one room, or very small rooms, the Jewish refugees alongside residents in Shanghai. Wow, so an interesting book. So combining the holiday, right, of the moon festival in China and the Jewish holiday of Sukkot. So I hope this book really opened your heart and mind to the Jewish holiday of Sukkot, and you even learned a little bit about the Chinese holiday of the Moon Festival. So this is the end of our three-part book series for the Jewish high holidays. So I hope this series helps you and your family just to get a little bit more familiar with the Jewish people and the religious holidays that they celebrate, and sometimes even Christians celebrate along with them. So keep reading, keep interacting with other people from other cultures, and maybe just like Marcus and Liang, you might find a great friend. So take care. So this is Teacher Rebecca from Ambassador Consulting and Education. And please let us know if you need any of our services, and what we offer is available on the website. Take care. Happy reading. We are better together. And you can change the world.